person who is taking responsibility for your decisions and the one and what works best for you. And that's empowering because many people are looking to other people to make the decisions and determine things for them. But when you come into therapy, the therapist is supposed to empower you. It's a hey, your thoughts, your feelings, your values, your dreams and desires matter, you know, and you get to explore those things for yourself, and you get to make decisions based on those things, and you get to navigate the consequences of those decisions, positive or negative. And so that is the heartbeat of therapy. So it's not advice giving, right? Doesn't mean that advice is never given in therapy. No. I've given advice from time to time, but I try to make that a last resort. And I will say to people, I'm going to make a recommendation or a suggestion. You, at the end of the day, you also have to make the final decision, and I will share my thoughts, right? But I hold back on the advice because I want people to work for themselves what they think they need to be doing. And I give feedback, I might share a concern or so, but ultimately you're working anyway. So I think I've said that like a couple of times now. I don't have to say it anymore. So, okay. So that's what it is not. And I started already talking what it is. It's about, it's a process. It's a journey where you as the expert on your life, meaning that you the person who is feeling and experiencing what you are going through and have been doing that over the years. And me, the expert in the process, right, of counseling, the skills of counseling, where we come together as partners to journey, to collaborate. You're bringing that experience, I'm bringing that, and we're putting our heads together to say, hey, how can we put this in to help you, the client, uncover what is holding you back, uncover the issues and the pain and the dreams and the goals, and the strengths. And then so that you can discover, as I journey with you, you can discover what is the best way for you to move forward, right? So it's a process, it's a partnership, right? Where it is aimed to empower you as the person, your needs, your concerns, and everything. The counselor's needs and concerns and opinions are not the priority, right? And so that is counseling. And how is that done? It's that, in the counseling process is done through questions. So there's specific questions that are asked, open-ended questions to gain information, to get an understanding of the situations, and to create like a big picture of the problems that you may be having. So again, the goal is understanding. So questions are asked. It's done through certain listening skills. So I might say back to what I think I hear you say and ask you to confirm that I've understood, right? So those are some of the listening skills I would use. Also, there are sometimes some therapy strategies that are used in the process to help you, express your emotions better or change certain ways of thinking. There's so many. We won't get into that today, and in some future episodes we will talk about different types of therapy strategies that are out there that can basically, when they're used in the sessions, is to help you experience healing, give you the equipping and the support needed to experience emotional, psychological healing for yourself, in your relationships, and growth as well. It's to help to support growth and development as well. I love this. I've been in therapy myself, and I still get therapy and counseling, and it's always amazing how it helps me in my own healing and growth when I'm receiving it myself as a client. And I just enjoy seeing people get these light bulb moments, and they make these changes that they come into greater awareness and growth and wholeness. It is challenging and exciting at the same time. So anyway, so that's part of, and then sometimes the therapist or the counselor will assess for certain things. They use certain questionnaires to get certain information, to measure certain things, to say, okay, whether it's about anxiety, how anxious are you? You know, how do we know it's just regular anxiety versus clinical anxiety, where it's really, really affecting their life, versus feelings of depression versus actual clinical depression. So counseling can also involve some tools to assess for those kinds of things. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. And basically it's just helping you to really work through whatever experience. And it doesn't only have to be about problems in terms of like crises, but counseling can also be used for helping people work out goals and moving towards their goals, and dreams and that kind of thing. Problem solving, creative problem solving. And there are many different ways that therapists and persons who do this do that. Anyway, so, and there are different types of counseling, or what do you say? Different ways, different kinds. Let's use the word kinds of counseling one can receive generally. So there's the individual therapy, focuses on you, the person. Then you have something called couples or marriage counseling and therapy, where both the partners are in session with the therapist, right? Then you have something called family. So family could be family of two. So maybe a single mother and a child. It can be both parents and children, all the children, some of the children. But family basically it's a group. It's no longer just two people, right? Not a couple. Yeah. So you have that family therapy where it has more people involved. You have group therapy where you're talking about 5 to maybe 12 people who are experiencing the counseling together with one or two therapists. Anything beyond 12 usually is from what I've learned and from research, usually is not as effective when you start to talk about 14 people, 15 people in a group. So those are the kinds of counseling one can engage. And then you can do it face to face, or you can do it online. So those are the kind of ways that you can engage counseling. And so if you think about that, there are different options one has. And what you have to think through is, what do you need at this time? So if you're having marriage issues, right, while you can come for individual counseling to get out of your chest the stress about your marriage and the challenges, and help to better understand how to navigate those things, ultimately at some point you want to be doing marriage or couples therapy in order to have someone sit with both persons and work through those issues, right? Sometimes you may want to do something in a group, because the advantage of the group is that you get this way to interact with people who are not professional. So you have the professional there, but you have other people who are a client just like you, and therefore you can kind of get some real world experience. You get people to that you will react to or respond to, and it's a kind of way to test and learn things, and how people share information and how they communicate with you and you with them, and it provides more perspective. And there are ways that a group can help beyond that than the professional, and so you might need that, and then of course individual, you want to focus on something for yourself that might be needed, etc. So that's this basic way we're going to start when we talk what is therapy. What it's not counsel, it's not advice giving, it's not guidance. That's not there, right? It's a process where the professional counselor therapist who has expertise and knowledge in the dynamics or the skill set or the way counseling is done, and you, the expert on your life, the one who feels it, who knows it, and has been with it. And expert doesn't mean that you have perfect knowledge. It just means that you have first-hand experience of your life, and you have to provide the information to the person who does not know you, so that there can be now this partnership working together. You bring I bring my piece, and we put our heads together and say, hey, what's going to be the best way forward that would benefit not the therapist but you? right? You notice that you are the person that's the focus of the process. It can be you or the couple or the group, you know, or the family, right? Yeah. And so that is, and so if you know that, in a way that can be a big thing. You can go into therapy with the understanding that, hey, I'm going to go in here. There might be advice, but advice is not the primary thing here. And so you go with a certain kind of expectation. You don't go in and, you won't go in and say, oh, I went for advice, this person didn't give me any advice. They ask me all these questions. No, but you're going there with the understanding that, hey, what advice can happen, that's not the primary thing. And therefore you can be open to this different way of doing things. And you can be, and know that you're going to be empowered to work this thing through for yourself with the help of somebody, so at the end of the day, you can feel stronger and feel, more effective in how you're living, because it wasn't just what people told you, but you're able to work it through. And that's an awesome feeling. And I say that from experience. Okay, so that's the end of this video on the Fruitful Life Jamaica podcast, where we have just started this journey on Let Therapy Work for You. I am Ade Brown, Associate Counseling Psychologist and founder of the Fruitful Life Jamaica online therapy practice. So you can, check me out, the website. There's be some information in the description. You can get in touch with me if you're interested in doing sessions with me. Remember that there are options out there for therapy. There's Family Life Ministries. There's so many out there. And so ultimately, you need to pick the person that works for you. I might be a cup of tea. I might not be a cup of tea. It's all about what's going to work for you. You. Not for Ade, not for somebody else, for you. Right? And so, but if you feel that you would want to see what a partnership with me would be like, hey, sure, let's connect. And if it is that the partnership with me is not the best, based on as I listen to you, I am more than happy to connect you to another counselor. There are excellent counselors out there in this country called Jamaica, who could be the better fit for your needs and your concerns. Blessings, like, subscribe, share with a friend, and together, let's discover what's holding you back. Let's uncover what's holding you back. I'm going to get that right, so that you can discover how to move forward. Take it easy.